Now that you are familiar with the ship's exterior, it's time to get a closer look at the decks and spaces. Some very important safety items on the deck are lifeboats and life rafts, which are our next focus. Lifeboats are specially designed boats located exterior of the house and used in the event of an emergency if the ship has to be abandoned. Their location provides for quick boarding and easy launching, ensuring the safety of all personnel aboard our ships. The lifeboat's color, called International Orange, provides maximum visibility, assisting search and rescue efforts that take place from either sea or air. There are 6 important features of lifeboats that we will look at. Familiarizing yourself with these features will help you understand the capabilities and support lifeboats provide when necessary. Lifeboats contain a small engine, food, water, survival gear, first aid, and navigational equipment. The food, water, survival gear, and first aid equipment may be found in the storage compartments, generally under the seats or in storage compartments in the floor. The seats inside the boat have shoulder harnesses which must be worn when launching the lifeboat. By law, the total capacity of a lifeboat on each side of the ship must exceed the total number of people on board, ensuring adequate capacity for all personnel should one of the lifeboats become damaged or unable to launch. Maintaining and testing lifeboat safety procedures is of critical importance for our ships and crew. Our lifeboat launching procedure can be divided into these steps. Step 1. Initial preparations. Ensure harbor securing pins are removed. Disconnect electrical charge cable. Close drain plugs. Place EPIRB and SART in boat. Board when instructed. Sit and fasten seat belts. Step 2. Launch actions. Release gripes, securing wires. Secure hatches. If in a safe atmosphere, open vents. If in a dangerous atmosphere, close vents. Suitable jackets, inflatable, are to be worn by the boat's crew. Step 3. Lower to water. Check clear below. Operate brake release. Boat may swing during launch. Keep lowering boat at a steady rate. Step 4. Entering water. Allow boat to settle in the water. Keep brake off. Release falls. If falls do not disengage, operate emergency release as follows. 1. Break glass. 2. Move lever to green zone. 3. Release falls. Step 5. Letting go. Start engine. If in a dangerous atmosphere, open air supply and water spray valves. Release painter when ready. Steer away from ship. Step 6. Final actions. Rescue any swimming survivors if safe to do so. When clear of vessel, stream sea anchors. Operate EPIRB and SART. These steps prepare us for safely and correctly launching the lifeboats. If at any time a crew member does not remember a step in launching a lifeboat, they should refer to posted launching instructions at each lifeboat station and ask one of the ship's licensed deck officers for instruction. Remember, it is good practice to be aware of these operations through drills and lectures while periodic checks in accordance with APL's safety, quality, and environmental management system ensure adequate knowledge of these procedures. Continuing with decks and spaces, we focus on the house of our ship. The house can be divided into subsections. For our studies, we will focus on the bridge, living quarters, galley, and engine room. We begin with the bridge. The bridge is located at the top deck of the house. When a ship is underway, the bridge is manned by an OOW, Officer of the Watch, who may be aided by an AB, Able Seaman, acting as lookout. During critical maneuvers and in congested areas, the captain will be on the bridge supported by one or more OOWs as extra set of hands and eyes, an AB on the wheel, and sometimes a pilot, one who, though not belonging to a ship's company, is licensed to conduct a ship into and out of a specific port or through dangerous waters if required. The bridge is the brain of the ship, and its function is critical to safely navigating our ships from port to port. Below the bridge are the living quarters on decks F, E, D, and C. Located on the F deck are the senior officer staterooms and laundry. The captain's, chief engineer, and the pilot staterooms are all on this level. On E deck is where the licensed officers' staterooms and their officers' lounge are located. C and D decks are the bosun's, AB's, chef, and chief steward's living quarters. It also contains the main crew lounge, which has movies, books, games, and a library. B deck, also known as the mess deck or the galley, contains food preparation kitchens, galley, dining areas, mess, dry provisions, freezers, and refrigerators. There are 3 separate eating areas on C-11s. 2 are for crew members. 1 is for eating while wearing dirty clothes, and another is for clean clothes. There is also an eating area for officers. There is a bulletin board containing official company postings, union information, port info, and security warnings outside the mess area. The ship's hospital is located on A deck. If you are injured or ill, you must report the injury or illness immediately to your supervisor. You would most likely then report to the hospital to obtain assistance from the ship's medical officer. Professional medical services and advice via satellite and radio communications are accessible 24/7 for the medical officer. The main deck of the ship is the uppermost complete deck extending from bow to stern. The ship's office, conference room, storage, ballast control rooms, crew member changing rooms, emergency gear locker with additional firefighting gear are all located on main deck. As you make your way through the ship, please be mindful of those who are sleeping. Remember, this ship operates 24 hours a day, which means that sleeping schedules will vary. Generally, a note will be posted in the hallways to alert you that others are sleeping. As you tour the living quarters and other areas, make note of the important features such as exits and fire stations. There is a fire station on each deck within the house. Fire stations contain resources necessary for a ship's crew to fight a fire. Each crew member should be aware of the fire extinguisher nearest to his or her stateroom and be prepared to assist in extinguishing a fire. The fire station contains the following items: fire hose, spanner wrench used to disconnect the hose, nozzle, and/or standpipe, nozzle, and cutout valve, when open, supplies water from the standpipe to the fire hose. These items are all required by federal and international regulations. Fire stations provide the necessary equipment to support our crews with the tools for safely and effectively extinguishing fires aboard the ship. So be sure you know where they are located and how to properly use this equipment for your safety and the safety of others. Making your way from deck to deck can be accomplished by accessing the stairs or the elevator. The elevator is located in the midship section of the vessel and is normally available for you to use. Prior to operating the elevator, you should understand the safety rules. Always watch your step when entering or exiting an elevator, and be sure to never attempt to hold open the elevator doors. Wait for the next elevator. Also, do not jump up and down while in the elevator, and never try to pry open the elevator doors. If you see any unsafe behavior or activity around elevators by others, be sure to discourage it. If there is a fire on the ship or any incident that could lead to a disruption in electrical service, be sure to use the stairs instead of the elevator. Each elevator contains safety equipment in the event of an emergency. Here we see equipment inside the elevator specifically designed for emergency use. The trunk key accesses the emergency escape hatch. The ladder is used to exit the elevator through the escape hatch in an emergency. However, if you are stuck in the elevator, do not attempt to escape through the escape hatch unless your life is in immediate danger. It is usually better to sound the alarm and/or use the phone to summon assistance, and wait in the elevator until the door can be safely opened. The alarm button sounds the alarm and notifies others of an elevator emergency. The elevator phone connects to the engine control room and bridge, which will assist in an elevator emergency. The elevator has a safety interlock that prohibits the elevator car from moving until the door is completely closed. When exiting the elevator, please make sure the door is closed completely so that others may continue to use the elevator. Now that you know the safety rules, let's keep them in mind, and your next ride will be a safe one. The final area of your tour is the loudest on the ship, the engine room. When you make your way to the engine room, be sure to wear hearing protection. Earplugs are usually available at entrances or in the engine control room. The engine room has a lot of moving parts, hot surfaces, and high-voltage equipment, so be cautious and be aware of your environment at all times when you are here. Let's take a look at some of the features and equipment found in the engine room. The main engine provides the ship with its propulsion. Generators are located directly off the main engine room and provide the ship with electricity. Tanks in the ship provide for fuel, ballast water, fresh water, and sewage storage. These are fuel tanks, large tanks in which the fuel is stored so it can then be supplied to an engine. Ballast tanks are generally found in the bottom part of the ship and are used to correct the list and trim of the ship and to make it more stable.